Generation 8. This tier list is atrocities to humanity. You know what? We're gonna put all the Pokemon we already rated in the atrocities tier. This is not me saying they're atrocities. I'm just saying we've already rated these, so we're not gonna do them yet. Yeah, hot take. I actually think Gen 8 has one of the best Pokedexes. I really loved Sword and Shield. It makes me sad that people hated it. Okay, Grookey is so cool. You know what's funny? Is that when the initial 3 stars were revealed, I was such a huge Sobble fan. I wanted to style myself after Sobble on literally everything online, and then when Gen 8 came out, I didn't even pick Sobble, I picked Scorbunny. Rank Hisui. Yeah, oh yeah, thank you. Remind me. Remind me after this tier list is done. I gotta do Hisui as well. I just wish the tier list did not delete all my progress, because I had everything there, and I was big sag. Thwackey is also goated. It's not as good as Grookey, but I love the rocker aesthetic. And then Rillaboom. We already know where Rillaboom's gonna go. Rillaboom, the best Tapu of all time. The best Tapu, so good they waited 3 years because he needed to cook. The best Tapu that he's able to protect Alola remotely from Galar. And he has a work visa just in case he needs to get over there. The best Tapu ever. The real best Tapu. I can't wait for that short to come out. Because I revealed his true and full name, and it took me 9 seconds to verbally say out loud without tripping over all my words. I like Sobble because you want to hug and comfort him. I actually don't. I already rated Inteleon, so he also goes here. Even though I re-rated Sylveon, I already rated Inteleon. He was B+. Scorbunny. It's cool, but it's A tier. It's not as good as Grookey. Grookey's so pretty. And speaking of good, Reboot, S tier. Actually, I'm going to put Reboot above Thwackey. I don't know what about it is so good, but Reboot looks so cool. The only thing I wish is that it was just a little bit bigger. It's just a little too short, you know? It's so cool. I like Reboot. Cinderace is overhated. People hated the Gen 8 starters so much because they all look humanoid, and I'm like, who cares? Like, people give a pass to other humanoid Pokemon just because they like them personally. It's kind of like the 4-legged versus 2-legged starter thing. Like, people will complain about 2-legged starters all the time, and then their favorite will be a 2-legged starter. It's so weird. People are so hypocritical about stuff like that. It's just, why? Why are people so weird? Sobble? Sobble's fine. I think it's overrated, though, if we're being real. Even though I was an insanely big Sobble fan. Drizzile is a disappointment. I don't like Drizzile at all. It's ugly. Like, I liked the funny, cute Pokemon, and then I became emo goth nerd. Then Inteleon happened. Chewmonk exists. I like the squirrel motif. It took this long to get a squirrel Pokemon, and I just remember that Pachirisu exists, so I retract that statement. But, if you did not know, red squirrels and brown squirrels are a thing in Europe. Shocking news, I'm sure. But, in the real world, red squirrels are the energetic ones, and brown squirrels are the lazy, stupid ones. And they swap the lore around. Greedent gets all their food and stuff stolen by the Squavets. That's why Greedent and Squavet are cool. Also, Greedent is an insane monster in Rambats. They were going for Fire, Water, Grass stars with Protean. They did do that. That was pretty cool. Now, I don't want to get... Now, let me be clear. I do not want a single starter to ever have that ability ever again. We're good. But Cinderace and Greninja cooked so hard, they had to nerf it for Meowscarada, and Meowscarada is arguably the best of them all. At least from a Protean perspective, because obviously Cinderace with court change made it insane. But Rookidee is insane. I love Rookidee. It's fire. It's a cool design. One of the coolest early route birds we've ever gotten. Corvisquire kind of sucks, though. I'm gonna be real. It's better than Drizzile, but it's not as good as Squavit. Corvisquire is kind of like boring. It's not even bad. It's just kind of like whatever. It's not really a fun or interesting design to look at. Corviknight, get up here in S tier, bro. Get up in S tier. Corviknight is so cool. You gotta respect Corviknight. It looks so pretty. They cook so hard. Yeah, you're right. They cook so hard, and the fact that it's one of your starting Pokemon. It's an early route Pokemon that's not normal flying. I love it when they do that. It's so cool that they've started to branch out of that. Blipbug is a cute Pokemon, but I don't have anything to say about it. Dottler, I'm gonna be real. I don't care about Dottler. A lot of people like Dottler because it's cute, but I'm gonna be frank. I have no opinion on it. It's kind of like whatever if we're being real here. Orbeetle is nice. It's better than Incinerate. I'm a big fan of it. Because every has a mid. Kinda. Maybe. I'd have to look at all of them. Unfortunately, I don't have my big list anymore. Orbeetle's sick. Huge fan. I like it. I could punt Dottler so hard. You couldn't believe it. I believe you, my friend. Dottler looks very kickable. You know, it even kind of looks like a soccer ball with all these dots, you know? If you were colorblind and saw this in the wild, I wouldn't blame you for thinking it's a soccer ball. Nickit is nice, although it has a very forgetful name. I can never remember Nickit's name. Thievul is very pretty. I like Thievul. Both these Pokemon also have a very cool shiny. Gossiflower ended up being very forgetful, if we're being honest. I never remember that Gossifleur exists. And it's more interesting than Eldegoss. It's weird, because Eldegoss is one of the first Gen 8 Pokemon revealed, if I remember correctly, and it's like not even... It's not strong. It's not particularly cool. They gave it a signature ability for some reason. Let's figure out how to make a middle Evo. Yeah, I kind of get that. But there's some middle Evos that cook like Grovyle. I mean, I guess Grovyle does overshadow Sceptile completely, though, for being real here. Wooloo had the internet taken over by storm. Let's not pretend like that didn't happen. Every white woman loved Wooloo because it is so cute. All of them loved her. I don't know why I specified white women. Everyone loved this thing. It's like the generic cute Pokemon that gave people brain rot. Dubwool was a big step down, though. Let's be honest. Dubwool was not that cool. It's actually the best support Pokemon in Unite right now. Really? Apparently the evolutions are all broken in Unite, but I wouldn't know. I don't know enough about Unite. Wooloo is so cool. Well, like Elbool, true. Dubwool is kind of lame. I'm gonna be real. Wooloo is so cool. Also, there's a little bit of character development with teams with Wooloo. Because if you remember Hop, when he was like, he loved Wooloo, right? Wooloo was on his team for a while. But after he started going all tryharding and losing faith in himself, he dropped the Wooloo from his team. But then when he refound his confidence, he put the Wooloo back on his team. Even though it's weak, he loves it. That's basically some little character analysis they did with him. I don't know. Choodle's... No, it's not D tier. Choodle's kind of ugly. I don't like Choodle. Dreadnought? It's okay. I like Dreadnought. I don't have a story to say about Dreadnought, though. Like, why is this Nessa's ace? Like, who looked at Nessa and said, yo, this fish? Yamper is cute. I like Yamper. Hi, B tier. It's very cute. Unfortunately, Boltund is the biggest disappointment of all time. Why is Boltund so ugly? It doesn't look... It's the meth dog. Why do we have a meth dog? It's not even good competitively. Also, why does this line have a signature ability called Ball Fetch that's like completely useless if you're holding a held item, which is most of the time? Boltund's dumb. I don't like Boltund. I'm a bit unsubbed. Okay, sorry, dog. I am unlikes. Reverses every comment. Carkol. Actually, I found 2 Carkols back to back in Gen 8, and that was really cool. So I really like this Pokemon so much. This should have gone for fat, but fast. Yeah. I mean, we don't have many thin dogs. I mean, we just had Lycanroc in the previous gen, but Boltund looks unfinished. It needs an evolution. I think Carkol is also very ugly. This is an abomination to all Pokemon. It's so dumb. Colossal is cool. It went back to being cool. It doesn't hit the peaks of Carkol, though, if we're being real. Insulted my mother. Okay. They can make a Mega for make it crypto. Yo, that would be cool. I remember, there's this movie called Wonder Dog, I think. And I think it was literally supposed to be Superman's dog. But it was a live action. I loved it so much. I thought it was sick. When I was single digit aged, that was one of the coolest Pokemon of all time. Diplin is very awesome. It's above Cinderace for me. I remember, Marvin, yeah, you were here early in the stream. I thought Diplin was cool. A really cool shiny Pokemon as well. No, there was like some superhero dog, and it was really the Superman. There's this weird movie I liked it as a kid, but I don't remember much about it. I only remember that Superman showed up at the end. Yeah, that might be true. But when you're 9, you don't care about ratings. Underdog? Maybe it's Underdog. Maybe. Flapple? is a low-tier demon. This thing with Hustle and Choice Band hits so hard that you can ignore the accuracy drops. And with Terrestrialization, there's like no switching in on this thing. You have to quad resist to be reliable. Appleton. Appleton is pretty cool. It's not as good as Flapple, but it's a funny Pokemon. I like that it can't see without attacking. It's very cute. Also, the fact that people peel off these little patches on its back and eat them is, kinda makes you think. But question, is it vegan to eat an Appleton? Because it's implied that it's basically pie, right? Hydrapple? Absolutely it does. It's implied that this is pie, right? And pie, in and of itself, it can be vegan, right? I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on what's vegan and what's not. But, like, it can totally be vegan, yeah? So, but it's an animal, though. It's a living creature. So if you eat Appleton, can you still consider yourself a vegan? That's an interesting question. Also, I would definitely eat it if given the chance, if we're being real. Silicobra, I love it so much. I love Silicobra. It's such a pretty Pokemon. Nah, it's going above Wooloo. And Sandaconda is insane. If it's not a part of its body, then no. I mean, it's something, it's got, okay, it grows on his body. So I guess it technically is, but since it comes off naturally, I guess its peels here is like hair and fingernails on a person, right? You can cut it off and the person's gonna be fine. Like, you can cut off your fingernails, like you trim them all the time, and you cut your hair all the time. So I'm guessing that's kind of like that. Like, you wouldn't call someone a cannibal if they ate human hair, right? Or if they ate fingernails. So I guess, by extension, you wouldn't be... I guess you could still consider yourself vegan to eat Appleton things. And you're not, like, culturally bad. Obviously, I mean, literally, children in the Pokedex do it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can call them weird, because, you know, hair is disgusting. But apple pie, though. That's an American classic right there. Anyway, Cramorant, I'm rating 1 form. And it's going in A tier. Top of it, it's not S tier, but Cramorant's such a goofy little guy. I wish its ability worked with all water moves and not just surf and dive. Because it basically limits this thing to being a special attacker, but it could be both. It has good attack and special attack. You can run it mixed, but then you have to sacrifice its speed. It has such a funny cut. It has superpower. Brave Bird, Hurricane. I don't remember anything else, but this mod is so cool. It's called wait, what? Wait, what is this thing's abilities called? It's Gulp Missile, isn't it? If it uses Surf or Dive, it eats a Pokemon, and it's either going to be Arrokuda or it's going to be Pikachu. It's Pikachu, it's under half health. And what happens if you attack it after it has a Pokemon in its mouth? It'll deal 25% of maximum HP of the Pokemon that attacked it. And then if it's Arrokuda in the mouth, they'll also take -1 defense. And if it's Pikachu, they'll be paralyzed. So this thing actually has a really cool ability. It's like, you could get a lot of shenanigans done with this Pokemon. It's a really unique take. Arrokuda, I love Arrokuda. This is also one of the fastest shiny hunts I ever did. It took 27 encounters to get it. I got a lot of shinies in Gen 8. I liked it so much. I was a big fan of Gen 8. Did not get the DLC at all. True, it is the throat goat. Look at all the things it can eat. Imagine being that poor Pikachu in its mouth. Also, it kind of sucks though, because like, if Cramorant is in a game, it's literally forced to be in the same game as Arrokuda. I would eat an Arrokuda too. I think Barraskewda's a downgrade compared to Arrokuda. It's just a less of an interesting design. It's still A tier though. I don't like it as much as Sobble, but I like it more than Score Money. Actually, I do think Arrokuda is pretty cool. I liked Arrokuda. It's the reason I beat Nessa without having to lose. Arrokuda carried me through Nessa. Toxel, I think, is overrated. I think it's just... Actually, I don't even think it's overrated. I don't have no idea what the opinion on Toxel is, but I think it's stupid. Poison Electric's a cool typing, but it's just so ugly. Arrokuda and Veluza are cool. We will get to Veluza. Barraskewda is pretty cool. I like it. I think low-key form for Toxtricity is the worst of the two. And then amped up form is the next best. But I'm gonna be real, I don't like these Pokemon. Also, funny story about Toxtricity. Back in early Generation 9 UU, Iron Hands was allowed in the tier, and there was a suspect test for it. I was playing just on the ladder normally. I personally wasn't using Iron Hands because I thought it was broken and shouldn't be used, so I didn't use it myself. And then I got into a battle with one of the tier leaders. And she was using Iron Hands, and then she had like a group of people with her, and they were talking so much smack to me because I lost against an Iron Hands when it's one of the most broken Pokemon of all time. And that battle changed my perspective on competitive so much, because from then on, if a Pokemon was getting suspect tested, I would constantly use it if I thought it should be banned. Because I wanted people, so basically from that battle onwards, every single UU team I had always had Iron Hands. Because I wanted people to realize how stupid overpowered that thing was. And when the suspect test was concluded and everyone like, you know, voted, of all the council leaders, she was the only one that voted do not ban, and she had like this, it felt like 2-page long essay on why it shouldn't be banned, right? And I remember one of the reasons was Choice Spec's Terra Normal Boom Burst from Toxtricity, which by the way, was an RU Pokemon. And we're talking about UU here, so that's not really a good argument. It also completely fails the Iron Hands' Assault Vest, by the way, which is like the second most common item on it. Anyway, that person left a huge essay on why Iron Hands should not be banned. And then literally, like, every other council person didn't provide an explanation, or their explanation was literally like, yeah, this should have just been a quick ban. This thing's overpowered. Like, everyone want Iron Hands gone except that person. So, I felt a little validated. Obviously, they're a better battler than I am. But the fact that someone went so far to defend Iron Hands in the tier, especially like nowadays. Nowadays, it's so obvious that Iron Hands should have been banned. Yeah, I know. I know, Gambit. I have no idea why they unbanned it. Like, they said the basic, like, oh, new Pokemon are in the tier, so there's going to be more counters to it. But it's like, what specifically was added in the home expansion that made you think that Iron Hands would be healthy in the UU tier? And the same thing goes with the Teal Mask DLC, and the same thing goes with the not Crown Tundra, whatever the second one was called, Blueberry Academy or whatever, Indigo Disc. What was added that made it think they would become a healthy presence in the metagame? It got banned again. And that was like what was the UU Council thinking? It just never dies. I remember cheesing so many, like, go back and watch some of my old Spoken battles. I remember so many times that thing would just clutch victory from literally nowhere. Because I was running, like, for example, I remember this one guy who's running this Moltres. I clicked Swords Dance as he switched in his Moltres to counter my Iron Hands, and then I Terra Fired and Swords Danced again. And this was a booster energy set too. And he went for a Will-O-Wisp. So I have a +4 Iron Hands versus the rest of his team. And I had Drain Punch. He literally could not stop me. I won, flat out. Yes! Iron Hands and Staraptor are the Pokemon with the most amount of bans in the generation... Oh, not in generation anything. Over the entirety of Smogon. It has the most amount of UU bans. The difference between Iron Hands and Staraptor, though, is that Staraptor got banned 4 times over the course of 15 years, while Iron Hands got banned 4 times over the course of 15 months. Iron Hands is just... It's such... I don't know why they kept bringing it back in UU. When will they learn? At this point, I want Iron Hands back just so we can ban it a 5th time. I think it's funny now, but it's like... I will never forget... I don't remember their name. But... I will never forget that tier leader I had to go up against. And the people they were with were... They were so mean to me. I know I'm family friendly, but they were rude. I should have saved that rant for Iron Hands, but oh well. Toxicity reminded me of, because like, literally the only reason I remembered this story is because I saw Toxtricity, and they said Toxtricity is one of the counters to Iron Hands. Terra Normal Toxtricity, by the way, on the fighting type. That was a competitive rant about a Gen 9 metagame in the Gen 8 video. We're 21 minutes in. Anyway, Sizzlipede's okay. It's a funny bacon Pokemon. It's whatever. I don't have a deep opinion on Sizzlipede. No, that's... Wait, is it Sizzlipede? Wait, what's the name of this Pokemon? Oh, no. Centiskorch. Centiskorch is sick. I love it. A lot of people... I remember when Gen 8 came out and everyone, like, online was hating on the Gen 8 decks, but every single one of them specified, though, that Centiskorch is sick. Because it is. And everyone who was hating on Gen 8 was, anti... Dexit person, by the way. They're boycotting the game, and then it became one of the best-selling games in the series. Which, I'm gonna be real, high game sales does not equal high game quality, but that's a discussion for another time. Centiskorch is very cool. I think it's overrated. Clobbopus is a Pokemon I want to like, but it sucks. It's just so weak. It's gonna go in the D tier. Grapplock, I like the design, but honestly, not enough to put it above Clobbopus. It has a signature move, doesn't it? It's like Octolock, but I don't even know what it does. Fake water fighting, true. Actually, I kind of like the idea of it not being a water type, because I feel like we need more Pokemon that live in the water that's not water type. Just makes it a little more diverse when you're exploring the route. But at the end of the day, it's like, I just wish this thing was good. It's just like the most whatever Pokemon of all time, to be honest. Sinistea, I'm a big fan of its design, but it just sucks. Also, why is there no fake form on here, huh? It's just the real Sinistea here. You know how I can tell? It's because I'm a real Pokemon fan. I don't need to look at the bottom sticker to know it's real or fake. This thing is the bane of Shiny Hunter's existence, and I find that hilarious. Poltegeist is going to go in the low D tier. I think it's ugly. I felt it should have had one more evolution. And I hate running into this thing online because Shell Smash is such a stupid thing to fight. I hate it. It's such an annoying Pokemon. Like, also, size spam teams are just so lame. I hate this. This mon's so dumb. And Terra makes it stupidly annoying to fight as well. I say in the Gen 8 tier list. Hatena? I think Hatena's cute. It's going in B tier. Right below Blipbug. Above Yamper. I don't really like Hatena. Hatchram, I don't actually have a good opinion on. I think it's ugly. It's better than these guys, though. It's better than Corvisquire. Actually, yeah, this is where Hatchram's gonna end up. It's kind of whatever. Hatterene is the best of the line. It's like Deidre from Fire Emblem, so that's why she goes up here. She's also, like, pretty fun competitively, but at the end of the day, I don't really have that good of an opinion on this Pokemon. It's kind of like, whatever. It's just the mod that fills up the decks for me. Also, fun fact, did you know that, like, the Hatena line and the Impidimp line are supposed to be, like, rivals? Did y'all know that? It's like one of those weird Pokemon that are supposed to have rivalries, but it's like, they really don't. The Pokedex doesn't even go into it that much. Dark Fairy is a very cool typing. I like Impidimp's design. Right here, right below Thievul is where it goes. Morgrim is also very cool. It's a Redditor. This is the depiction of a Redditor. Unkempt hair, barely wearing clothes. You could tell this thing is, like, stinks. And it has skinny arms. They perfectly encapsulated what a Redditor looks like. So that's why you gotta respect them for that. Morgrim's kind of cool. But it's gonna go to the bottom of A tier. Grimmsnarl is sick, though. I love Grimmsnarl. Not enough to put it in S tier. I want to put it right before Orbeetle. But Grimmsnarl is also very cool. I love it. It's just a funny, bulky prankster Pokemon. It just completely outranks Sableye in pretty much every single way, purely because Parting Shot and better bulk. Even though it doesn't have recovery, you can deal with that. I mean, you got Drain Punch. I think it's Leech Life, dude, if you're really desperate. Obstagoon is S tier. I love Obstagoon so much. I'm gonna put it right below Rillaboom, probably. Obstagoon is so cool. Galarian Zigzagoon is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. And Obstagoon kind of like is peak of the line. I loved how much love it got over time. Big fan of Obstagoon. Next up we got Berserker. I'ma be real. I like Berserker, but it doesn't look different enough from Galarian Meowth for me to particularly care. I just wish it had something else going for it. It just doesn't look different enough for me. Belly, true. It is such a shame. Why did they take away Extreme Speed, those cowards? Obstagoon with Extreme Speed would be insane. Belly Drum would only make it even more broken too. Was it like solidly UU in Gen 8? I'm not sure. Definitely a criminal of some kind. Yeah, this guy doesn't follow the law completely. There's no way it does. Cursola. I think it's worse than Galarian Corsola. But I still think this is such a cool design. I'm gonna probably put it at the top of B tier. I love Galarian Corsola as well. Especially you can give it... It's an annoying Pokemon to battle because EV Light plus Strength Sap. But it's really cool. I like this mod so much. Sirfetch'd is funny meme-ber, but I don't particularly care about it, so I'm gonna put it like right here between Impidimp and Dreadnought. What rank is Greedent? It's C tier. That is where the Greedent is chilling. Sirfetch'd is goated. Mr. Rhyme, hot take, very cool Pokemon. I'm putting it above Grimmsnarl. This is where Mr. Rhyme goes. It's a cool Pokemon! This is probably a hot take. I feel like people online don't care for this Pokemon, but I think it's really cool. Just ignore the stomach, and then it's really good. The stomach lowers it from S tier to A tier, to be honest with you. Why did they change the entire theme from screen setters to screen cleaner? I mean, honestly, I think it makes sense, making it kind of the opposite of what it normally is. I'm not against that. You know, it helps them stand out. Runerigus. Runerigus is very cool. The most common criticism about this Pokemon is that it should have been a Rock Ghost. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care enough, but at the same time, it's kind of surprising we don't have a Rock Ghost. I feel like we can get a regional, what's that? Stonejourner? A regional Stonejourner or a regional Trevenant that could be Rock Ghost. And that could work out pretty well. Like, just imagine Trevenant made of rocks. It's basically that Mario Galaxy boss. Wandering Spirit is just Mummy, but better. I think this is such a cool Pokemon. Its design is sick. It's just like based on Viking rune stones. I love it. Galarian Yamask is kind of whatever, but Runerigus makes it worth it. A lot of people complain about its weird evolution method. And I'm gonna be real, it kind of makes it complicated for how it's gonna evolve in future games, but at the end of the day, it's not hard to do. You just take 49 damage and go stand under a rock. That's not difficult. Like, I'd rather do that than do, like, Basculegion's take recoil damage thing. Or do the 1,000 steps thing. Milcery. I'm actually a big fan of Milcery. This is the first shiny I hunted in Gen 9. Ground type does make sense. Runerigus is made of clay, not rock. Very true. I think people just want Ghost Rock because we don't have it. And then as soon as we get a Ghost Rock type, they're going to forget about it and demand whatever typing we also don't have. It's just current thing, you know? So, oh yeah, I didn't even talk about why I love Sandaconda. Sandaconda is so cool because you can run it with... I was actually running Sandaconda in Gen 9 OU for so long. Because it's actually a decent check in the Great Tusk. Unironically, because this thing has such high defenses. I was running Glare, Earthquake... What was it? Glare, Earthquake, Rest, and then some other move. Probably like Stone Edge or something. That's a fun set. Also, running this with Scale Shot and Rock Blast and low tiers is insane. Sandaconda is a slept-on Pokemon who evolves at 1,000 steps. Pawmot, Relor, and I think one more person. It's so stupid. It's not good competitively. Like, offensively? Yeah, offensively, it would be insane. Defensively, it kind of sucks. Yeah, he's a bulky ground. He was a menace in RU at one point, but I think he fell all the way to PU. It's good. I like running the offensive set with Coil, Scale Shot, Rock Blast, and fourth move, Earthquake probably, or Rest, because you know Rest plus Shed Skin's pretty nutty if you can get lucky. But it's a cool Pokemon. Very cool. Next up, Alcremie. I am a huge fan of Alcremie. It's so pretty. I love the shine. Okay, I understand why they have one basic shiny design, because if you had to design a unique shiny for 64 different Pokemon, I would go delusional. But Alcremie's goated. I love it. I shiny hunted for it first for a reason. It is very pretty. I did a lot of shiny hunting in Gen 8. I did a lot in Gen 9, but I prefer the Gen 8 ones because they all felt so much more special. Phalanx, I am not a big fan of Phalanx. No, it's better than D tier. I'm putting it right below Greedent. I don't like it when there's... I'm not a big fan of group Pokemon, like Execute and this. Also, genuine question, I don't play Pokemon Unite, but how in the world can you go from announcing Miraidon to a few seconds later announcing Phalanx? Who evolves at 1,000 steps? Relor, Pawmot, and I think one other Pokemon. I'm not sure, though. It's such a stupid evolution. Because you have to walk the Pokemon, but those Pokemon walk so slow, so if you walk too far, they'll turn their Pokeball, and you have to redo the steps. I think there's 3 Pokemon that do that. I know those 2 do, but I'm like 99% sure there was a 3rd. Next up, Bramblin. That's who it was. Thank you, King Gambit, for answering the question. Pincurchin. Pincurchin is so cool. I just wish it was good. On the one hand, I thought this was actually a regional variant of Pyukumuku when I first saw it, but then I saw its name and realized it was a unique thing. I feel like if this was introduced in Gen 9, they would say it's a convergent Pokemon of Pyukumuku because they look so similar. Like, they really do. It's kind of like wild. I feel like they're gonna... I feel like they need to add another one, to be honest. I like Pincurchin. It's just Tapu Koko, but horrible. Like, rest in... Also, like, Tapu Koko should have been Gen 9, because future Paradox teams are suffering. Like, past Paradox teams, you got Torkoal, you got Ninetales, you got Groudon, but future Paradox, you got Miraidon, which means you have to play Ubers, or you got Pincurchin, which means you have to have a bad Pokemon. Yeah, before, he was the only E-setter. Yeah, but it's like, let's be real here. If Tapu Koko existed, not a soul would use Pincurchin. Like, let's be honest with ourselves here. Like, if my GOAT was in Gen 9. Rillaboom's out here carrying the Tapu reputation in Gen 9. Snom, I think Snom is the most overrated Pokemon of all time. Snom is overrated. This is the hot take. I'ma be real. I don't care about Snom. It doesn't give me the same cute vibes as all the other cute Pokemon that I love. Snom's overrated. Frosmoth is the... more like Fraudmoth. Everyone thought this was going to be the next Volcarona just because it has a bad typing but access to Quiver Dance. But as it turns out, when you have a horrible defensive... Like, Firebug, it's quad weak to rocks, but besides that, it's a good defensive typing. Generally speaking. But Icebug is completely not defensible at all. Like, and I think the fact that despite it being in Gen 9 with Terra, and it's not nearly as broken as it should be, is proof that it was a failed Volcarona clone. What Pokemon do I consider cute? Togepi, Marshadow, Galarian Ponyta. I like small, cute Pokemon like that. Like, stuff like that's some of my favorite stuff. I don't think Snom is cute. I just think it's ugly. And not the cute ugly. It's just bad. Stonejourner is so stupid. I'ma be real. Why is Stonejourner and Ice-Q version exclusives, for one? They have nothing in common at all. Why are they version exclusives? Why does one of them have two forms, but the other one doesn't? Why did they decide that Stonejourner should not... as an Undertale character? Ooh, interesting. Why did they decide that Stonejourner should not have an ability? Like, its ability only works in doubles. Why does it not work in singles? 99% of battles in a Pokemon game are singles-oriented, so why would you give a Pokemon one ability that only works in doubles? That is like one of the weirdest things about Pokemon for me. Especially, why is VGC the official format if you're not going to promote it in your games? I want Gen 10 to focus on doubles. I want it to work kind of like the Coliseum games, where they're doubles focused. That's what I want. Like, I want a doubles-oriented game. I don't want just one gym leader. I don't want one DLC that releases a game afterwards. Also, and the doubles is useless. Yeah. Power Spot, it's just too weak to be useful in doubles. I like doubles too. It's just that I'd like it more if they made the game focused around it. Like Game Freak, if you want more people to play VGC, promote VGC in your games. Make a doubles-focused game. That would be cool. Imagine if Gen 10, there's two groups of starters, and you can pick one from each group. There you go. And you know what? Let them learn the pledge moves by level up. There's a huge focus right there. Gen 10, do it. Focus on double battles. That would be awesome. Please. Like, I want to make VGC content. The main reason I don't make VGC content is because I've had people in my comment section complain that I talk about Smogon, and if I make VGC content, they'll think they won. So that's the only reason I haven't done it yet. But, like, it's just so, man. Stonejourner is so lame. It's also, yeah, and the fact that it's not even going to VGC just lowers it even more for me. Ice-Q, I think this form of Ice-Q is just ugly. It's better than Carkol, but not by a lot. This form of Ice-Q, though, is cool. I like the Noise form. Or wait, or is this the Noise form? Yeah, this is Ice form, and this is Noise form. This Ice-Q is cool. I like it. He should never have lost the head. He's so ugly. But this Ice-Q, A tier. Absolutely. I love it. Indeedy, and it only has female. So, I'm gonna be real. This is my competitive bias showing, but I hate Indeedy. In doubles, it's a lot more healthy, but in singles, it's just set up Psychic Terrain for Psy Spam teams. It's dumb. Just sacrifice yourself with Healing Wish so we can get the others in, or just run Encore to be annoying. I hate Indeedee. It's annoying to deal with. More Pico! Got Shadows of Hearts and Indeedee has tricked. Wait, what? Oh! Yeah, I always forget they actually have different movesets. Like, I know they have different stats, but movesets are so weird. I always just make mine female just because it's just like, that's the one everyone else uses, so I just assume it's better. More Peko. I'm not going to rate them separately, so I'm just going to rate it here. I like Hunger Switch as a concept. I don't find it too useful in execution, but its uniqueness kind of raises it up to the top of A- for me, or the bottom of A for me, to be real. Qfant is a Pokemon I wanted to love so much, but I was one of the people that thought that Poltegeist would evolve into a porcelain elephant. Like, you go from one antique to another, but now they just stuck with the T theme, which is kind of a shame, to be honest. Copper Aja is so bad. Why did they nerf Copper Aja so hard in Gen 6? Didn't they take away Power Whip from it? I know they took away some moves from it. And then it lost its, like, one unique thing, the Steel-type Stealth Rocks. It lost that. For what reason? Why? Like, I know the G-Max move is gone, but couldn't they just given it a signature move like they did Como in a previous gen? Like, I feel so bad for Copper Aja. I do. I want to like it so much. Also, it's Rose's signature Pokemon, which is interesting. Like, I don't look at this thing and think of villain. Anyway, next up on the docket, we have the fossils. I love the Gen 8 fossils in concept, because it's based on the Bone Wars, where scientists were purposely putting together mismatching dinosaur bones so they claim they found a fossil. That way they can get more funding. It was basically just, I don't want to say money laundering, because it's not money laundering, but it's just like free money, and they were all faking it. But anyway, that's what it's based on. Purposely mismatching dinosaur bones to get more money from the government to justify your own research. Fixing the typo for anyone who complains in chat. Well, not in the live stream, but in the video. Dracozolt, I like it. It's cool. I love how the Pokedex all gives reasons for why they went extinct too. Also, these Pokemon are hard evidence that the Pokedex is lies. The Pokedex is written by 10-year-olds. It is. These Pokemon prove it, because they literally did not objectively exist in the past. And I do not care if they retcon that and show them in the past in the anime or in the games. They objectively did not exist. Objectively did not, based on their own lore. And it proves the Pokedex is full of lies. This form, Arctozolt, is ugly. Below Phalanx. I don't like this form at all. The Regovish, aka Funny Fish #1. They clean the money, don't worry. Oh yeah, true. It's not illegal if you wash your money in the washing machine. I like Funny Fish. It's so funny. You have one move, you click it, and the opponent dies. Such a hilarious Pokemon. And then this is the most boring fossil, to be honest. But it's not bad, like Arctozolt. I'm gonna put it right above Nickit. I think this is where it goes. Duraludon, hey, my favorite little cup destroyer. The funniest comment I have ever seen on the channel. Why bullying children is everything. AKA the Duraludon theorem. I love this Pokemon so much. I'm gonna put it right above Wooloo. Arcaludon's such an inspiration. It inspired his father, Arcaludon, to assault his co-workers of the OU tier. I love this man so much. Dreepy? I'm gonna be real, I'm not that big on Dreepy. It's not bad, but it's also kind of boring. I think Dracloak is ugly. I'm gonna put it like above Hattrem, but below Eldegoss. I don't really like it when other Pokemon appear in a Pokemon's design. Dragapult is the best. Also, I'm like 99% certain the Dreepies are not in Gen 9 anymore, which is sad. Also, Dragapult got hit the hardest by the Gen 9 models changing, because its Gen 9 model is so gross. Like, compare the Gen 8 and Gen 9 side by side, and it's just depressing. Dragapult's gonna go pretty high, though. I'm gonna put it right below Reboot. It's the GOAT competitively, and it has such a sick design. One of the coolest pseudo-legendaries. Also, Ghost Dragon is such a cool typing. I just wish we stopped. We need to get less Dragon-type pseudo-legends, by the by. Game Freak, if you're watching this, stop doing it. Yo, give us a normal type pseudo, you cowards. Zacian, goated design. I love it. I like it more than Dragapult, personally. Zacian in this form is actually kind of ugly, to be honest. Not a big fan of this. Zamazenta, I prefer Zamazenta's design to Zacian's. I bought Pokemon Shield day one, and I'm very happy that Reg G has given Zamazenta some love. Back. Also, I remember when I made fun of... I'm surprised that the old short of me making fun of Zamazenta does not have a bunch of comments now calling me out because of its performance in Reg G. Just keep in mind, that short was singles focused. But Zamazenta competitively is still a flop. Also, I think Zamazenta this form looks better than Zacian this form, but I'm gonna put it towards the bottom of A tier though. Like, rest in peace, Zamazenta. It's not beating the fraud allegations, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying it's the most broken Pokemon in Gen 9 OU, which, nah. I don't think it's broken, to be honest. Not at all. It's kind of just whatever. Eternatus is sick. I love Eternatus. Also, it's not pronounced Eternatus. I don't care what the Pokemon company says. Eternatus is how it's really pronounced. It's a really cool Pokemon. I love how alien it looks. Unfortunately, it is behind some of the... The Darkest Day was just poorly written overall. But it's so cool. I love how alien it looks. It's sick. Now we're finally on the final Pokemon, aka the G-Maxes. Corviknight's cool, but it's literally just Corviknight again, so I can't really rate it much higher. I think the shiny looks better, though. Also, I'm surprised Dragapult didn't get a G-Max. Orbeetle looks amazing as well. The quote of Jeff Bezos. Yeah. You mentioned that earlier, but it's still so true. Bigger equal better. Yeah. G-Max Orbeetle is amazing, but I don't like it as much as Carkol. Dreadnought is kind of just Turtonator, but it stands up. So I can't really put it... I'm going to put it above regular Dreadnought, but not any higher, because it doesn't really change that much. It's barely any different. Colossal, I'm gonna be real. It's also gonna go right next to OG. It's basically the exact same. This sucks. I hate that they both have the same exact form. It's just such a lazy design. Big long neck. Does it really have a long neck? I mean, it has that weird coat thing, but it's supposed to be like a turtle, you know? I'm not that big on Gigantamax Anaconda. I like the shotgun nose, but this is like one of the few Gigantamaxes I'm gonna say is worse than the original. Toxtricity is pretty damn cool, though. This is gonna go way above regular Toxtricity. I think this is honestly gonna be like A tier, right above Mr. Rhyme. I love this one so much. Then G-Max Centiskorch is cool, but I think it's overrated. I'm thinking it's gonna go this right above OG Centiskorch, to be honest. It's a good design, but it's nothing too crazy. G-Max Toxtricity is me when I walk up the stairs. Same. Hatterene. I don't like... This is also one of the ones I think is worse than the OG design, and it's not even that much different. Like, I like Pokemon, but big, but at least give them a slightly different design, like Toxtricity. Grimmsnarl is actually one that's worthy of being S tier. I like it so much. It looks sick. Unfortunately, it's not that fantastic. Phalanx should have gotten a G-Max. What would it be, though? Just a million tiny ones? Probably. Yo, Gen 10, give us Phalanx. And give us, like, 20 more of the guys. That's what I'm wanting. G-Max All Creamy is insane. I love it. It's so beautiful. I can't really put it much higher, though. Right below Zacian. I think this is where it's gonna... A Trojan Horse? That would be so funny. That would actually be really cool. Fits more for a Mega. Yeah, I can see it. Do you have to give each individual Phalanx a Mega Stone, though? Think about it logically for a second there, you know? What do? It's strange. Copper Aja, I like the design, but I'm gonna be real, it's not different enough for me. It's just... Again, another thing, but bigger. It's more square, though, so it's got that going for it. I think it's kind of an overrated Pokemon. Flink I'm not pronouncing that, Brody. I'm sorry. I can't believe Gen 8 took this long, despite it not being that big of a dex. 51 minutes, dear lord. It doesn't help that I went on like a 10-minute rant about Iron Hands. Arcalodon, it's based on the Shard. I'm a big fan of this design. And by Arcalodon, I mean Duraludon. Melmetal, I'm gonna be real. It's kind of just worse than regular Melmetal. I don't like its design at all. It doesn't look like it should be able to stand and it should fall apart when it attacks. I'm gonna put it like, kind of like here. No, Mr. Rhyme's better. And you're better. Not a big fan of Gigantamax Melmetal. Also, what does its signature move do? Almost certainly, it's worse than, it's based on a knight? I can kind of see it. It's almost certainly worse than just regular D-Max Steel. I don't know what it does. Does it just, like, they take more damage over turns? Probably. I don't know. It's a foot. Gorilla Kaboom, I'm gonna be real. I'm not a big fan of D-Max Gorilla Boom. I think it's kind of boring in concept. I'm just gonna put it above Pincurchin. Same thing with Inteleon. I'm gonna put these two side by side because they're kind of lame. I prefer Inteleon because at least it's a little more creative. It's just big tail and then it gets a sniper rifle. I was thinking about using this in that one Garganackle short, but I figured I should probably use the rock type considering it's a rock type versus a water type war, so I couldn't have the water type fighting on the rock side. Bit of a shame, not gonna lie. It's based on a knight, I mean it's a foot. G-Max's Cinderace though is on top. It's insane. I don't even like Naruto, but this thing is sick. You gotta love it. G-Max Meltdown, but what does it do? Urshifu is the same exact G-Max. Disables you from... Oh, it's Torment? That's not... I can't help but feel like the +1 defense would be better, but... Yo, they should give Melmetal Recover. It makes sense. He should get Recover. I'm gonna be real, I'm not big on the Urshifu's designs. I think they're kind of like whatever. And it's the same exact thing. I prefer the red form. I think that's Single Strike. But they're not really that special, to be honest. I feel like they're kind of ugly. Like a jelly-filled donut. Yeah. Alright, that's a weird way to end the video. The yawn. Anyway, this is the final list. I already rated all of these Pokemon in a previous part. That or they have alternate forms. I did not feel was worthy of being rated a second time. We're doing Hisui. This won't be long because I've rated a lot of these Pokemon already. Like we're gonna change D tier to already rated. We've already rated most of the Pokemon. I think this Sliggoo is better than OG Sliggoo. I don't know if this is gonna be its own standalone video, but it won't be long if so. Sliggoo is not all that crazy. It's just kind of whatever. I didn't like regular Sliggoo. I put it in D tier. Hisui and Goodra, it's good. It's just not as good as OG Goodra. I'ma be real. OG Goodra looks so much happier. OG Goodra's better. I think Hisui Goodra is that big of a downgrade from the original one. It just looks sad and sick. Shell Sliggoo is cute. It is cute. But I can't see it moving or doing anything. Hisui and Avalugg, it's pretty cool. I like it. It's A tier. I like it more than Goodra. Only special defense steel. I hate how true that is. I mean, doesn't Heatran have decent SPDF? Hisui and Decidueye is cool, but it's also a downgrade from OG Hisui. From OG Decidueye in both competitive and design, to be honest. Triple Arrows is a nutty move. Like, could you imagine how broken Decidueye would be if it actually had a speed stat? Like, because that signature move is crazy. Like, Triple Arrows, lowers defense, flinch, and high critical hit ratio. That is insane. Like, seriously, Hisui and Decidueye would be a monster if it had a real speed stat. Because isn't it even slower than original Decidueye? Which is already impressive. Weirdier is so cool. I think Weirdier's design is awesome. This would be like an S- Pokemon, to be honest. No, they're both PU. Both Decidueyes are PU. Cleavor is also a very sick Pokemon. It's cool. Stone Axe is an amazing signature move. This man is a very pivotal part of UU. I think he's technically RU now, though. I might be mistaken, though. Paradox Pokemon went back and stole Alolan speed. True. Ursaluna. Top tier design. Blood Moon better be in the Gen 9 tier list, because otherwise we're in trouble. Ursaluna is amazing. I love it so much. Annoying evolution method, but otherwise, oh well. What grass type does to a Pokemon. Yeah, no, you can't be fast with a grass type. Not without chlorophyll. Illegal. Is Kleavor better than Scizor? The one thing that Kleavor has over Scizor is Stone Axe. But the fact that Stone Axe isn't perfectly accurate and the fact that like it doesn't have too much else out of it, Bullet Punch adaptability, Scizor still puts it over Kleavor. If we're talking competitively, yeah, Scizor's still better. Because I think, didn't Kleavor actually fall to NU? I feel like it did. Also, I'm so sad that it's still down. By NU, I meant RU. Yeah, it fell to RU. I'm assuming it's really good down there, but the fact that Stone Axe is only 95% accurate is so sad, too. Like, Kleavor being weak to rocks hurts it so much when compared to Suigudra. Plus, it has, like, no bulk. The Basque Legion forms, I like the red one more. White's gonna go right below Sliggoo. Red's gonna go right above. It's gonna be the bottom of A. I feel like the color and facial expression changes it enough for me. I like how one's a physical attacker and the other is a special attacker as well. That's such a cool, unique thing, too. Yeah, it's literally just like Ivy Cudgel and Mighty Cleave. I mean, Rock's a very good offensive typing. Like, and good old Iron Fraud, too, aka Boulder, is like... Boulder went from, like, the 4th most used Pokemon to dropping to UU, and then it got banned in, like, 6 hours. It's so weird. Boulder is such a fascinating Pokemon. Also, it led to Terrakion falling to PU, and the fact that it got banned... Didn't they let it in the zeros for 24 hours? Everyone knew it was going to get banned from PU. But it's like... they let it run amok for a little bit of time, just for funsies. That was so funny. I got into an argument with someone in the comments section about that once. Terrakion did not fall to PU because of power creep. It fell to PU because of new toy syndrome. It fell to RU because of power creep. Or NU, I think it's where it currently is, right? Or is it UU? I'm not sure. Let's just fact check this information. No, I don't want to mess with that team. It fell to RU because of power creep. It didn't fall to PU because of power creep. There's a difference. It's new toy syndrome. Sneasler is cool. I like it. I feel like its design is just missing something for me to put it any higher, but competitively, this thing was the GOAT. Also, unfortunately, due to this mon getting banned in singles, I can't run Terra Ghost Garganacl as much freely anymore, because Terra Ghost Garganacl made this thing setup fodder. And you could just cheese so many things with the Iron Defense Body Press set with Terra Ghost. Especially since Zapdos is used a lot less in OU. But unfortunately, this thing being banned, my Garganacl got worse. Unfortnite. I feel like I already rated Garganacl. Am I stupid? I don't know. Overquill is a cool design. In fact, no, it's A tier. Yeah, it's actually here. That's where Overquill is going to go. I like Overquill. It's really good. It hits hard. Who actually decided Sneasler should get a busted signature move? Yeah. Do you think Dire Claw is going to get spread in Gen 10? Have you considered that? Because after a generation, a bunch of signature moves tend to get spread out. So, I hope you're ready for Dire Claw Toxicroak. I hope not. Yeah. But let's be real. Like, Toxicroak, logically speaking, should learn Dire Claw. It should. And there's a lot of Pokemon you could say could get it, I'm sure. It's going to be horrifying if that move gets spread. If it gets spread, it's almost certainly going to get nerfed, though, in some way, shape, or form. Enamorus is pretty cool. I like the Genbu Turtle, but I'm going to be real, it's only C tier for me. Enamorus original form, Incarnate. I like. Top of B. It's kind of whatever. Enamorus isn't always going to go up against competitively, but the fact that it has no defense stat means it just drops to Scizor. Enamorus, this form is always just used by people who wants to use cheese sets with like stored power or just Draining Kiss, Calm Mind. Actually, I don't know if it gets stored power, but it runs just Iron Defense, Draining Kiss, Calm Mind nonsense. It's dumb. Better hair? I think the hair's fine. I don't really have an opinion on it. Also, Rest, like... Why is Enamorus so weird and different from the other genies? Like, why did it just, like, go extinct or go into hiding? It just doesn't even do anything. It's so weird. It just hangs out with Kogita. which is honestly kind of based. Kogita seems chill and cool. Anyway, that's the Hisui Pokedex done. It was very fast, 7 minute long.